Welcome to the Straight from the Heart podcast, a show by the makers of Oritis about some stories and unconventional wisdom from Team Oritis, which helps you to work and run your business in a better way. Our today's topic is importance of cybersecurity and the role of SAP GRC module at industry. For this, we have our distinguished speaker, Mr. Khagendra Padi, Senior Security Consultant, Tech Mahindra. Today, people use the internet to advertise and sell products in various forms, communicate with their customers and retailers, and perform financial transactions. Cyber attacks are common nowadays, which can disable computers, steal data, or use the computer as a launch point for other attacks. For this, we use cybersecurity, which aim to protect the computer, networks, and software programs from such cyber attacks. Let's know more about this cybersecurity from our speaker.
So, welcome Mr. Khagendra to our Straight from the Heart podcast.
Thanks, Anita.
We are highly obliged and privileged that you came to our podcast. So, what is cybersecurity, and could you give an example for more understanding?
Okay, so before Anita, before moving to the example of cybersecurity, let's understand what the definition of cybersecurity is.
Okay.
So basically, it's cybersecurity. It is the combination of technologies, processes, and practices those are involved to protect all the data that is connected to the network or the network itself from any of the unauthorized access, from any of the unauthorized attacks, to protect the network as well as the organization as well. So this is basically the broad understanding of cybersecurity is from the definition point of view. But let's move on for an example. You see, I'll give you the very recent example of Elements app. Okay, so it is made in India app. It's a social media platform where like Facebook, Insta, or Twitter. So recently, what happened is the app has been upon the launch. The app, no one was able to log in for the initial 2 to 3 days of the app because there were numerous artificial traffic that has been created by the attackers from outside network that the system went down for 3 days. And even though I had the login access, I signed up, I was not able to log in because the traffic was so high and the system went down, the performance went down. It is one of the DOS attack, people say. So, and it took the Elements app team 3 days to get back to the system up and running, to respond to the actual users and to perform as like the other platform. So, you see, the importance from this example can be understood is if your application, if your network is under threat, your organizational rating is under threat, the trustworthy is under threat, the cost is under threat. Cost is going to be very high to cover all those ratings, trustworthy if they are breached. So from the today's world, cybersecurity has very vast and enormous impact to the organization if those are not managed well.
So, great explanation about cybersecurity and about the importance of it. So, in every field, there is challenges. So, what are the challenges faced in cybersecurity?
Okay. So the challenges that is faced. Okay, I will give you the same example that the previously case.
Okay.
So you see the Elements app. Okay, from where the challenges got inherited, and it is on the application layer, and people created the traffic artificially, and no one is able to log in, right?
Yes.
Similarly, let's give another real-time example of like, let's see, we go outside by having an umbrella on our head when it is raining to protect ourselves from the droplets. Right. Similarly, if Oritas is an organization itself and cybersecurity is like an umbrella for Oritas, the cybersecurity platform. So what could be the challenges for Oritas? The challenges could be the data can be theft from inside, that some outside attackers can enter to the Oritas network and steal the IPs, right? Or the Oritas server goes down and the Oritas portal goes down. So here the challenges are at the network level, at the application layer level, at the endpoint, data theft, right? And
Yes.
and the mobile application as well. If some organization put nowadays coming most into the mobile applications as well. So if someone the app is not well secured in the mobile application area as well. So it is another area where attackers get into the network. So the challenges are in the network security layer, application security layer, endpoint layer. In fact, IDM, identity management, infrastructure, and the cloud layer, cloud security as well. So it is one of the layers where if people are onboarding their data to cloud. This is one of the weak layer where attacks happen. So challenges are in each and every level. You cannot say that it is confined to only one particular point. Rather, it is broad to every point.
Okay. So as you said about organization, so who is responsible for cybersecurity in a company?
Okay, so I gave you now 2 to 3 examples. Now you tell me
Okay.
who will be responsible? Who will in Oritas, who will be responsible for all the data point of view, from the IP's point of view, from the network point of view? Who will be responsible? The
I
answer
think
is
yes,
yeah.
sir.
The answer is almost all.
Yes, sir.
Because the data flows from top to level and bottom to top as well in the pyramid, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
everyone is responsible in the organization for each and every data. So if the data is lost, if the data is leaked, it is also a cybersecurity breach.
Yes.
So even though a small guy or even though a big guy in the pyramid, everyone is responsible for cybersecurity in the company. But having said that, on majorly the CIOs, the Chief Information Officers of the organization, majorly they design the cybersecurity principles, they design the network network architects, they design which are the technologies that is going to be deployed to defend the network, they design the processes that is going to be involved to secure the data or to secure the incoming and outgoing information.
Yes. So you are work as a senior security consultant, and what is you do as senior security or consultant, or what is your job in that?
Okay, so I work as a senior security consultant in SAP.
Okay.
Okay, so SAP is an ERP tool which is implemented for various organizations use for their day-to-day ERP activities. ERP is enterprise resource planning system. Okay. So in an ERP product, now if you have implemented your ERP product for your organizational activities, your ERP product has to be compliant. It has to be well governed, and it has in the ERP product it has to be the risk monitored and risk upgradation and downgradation. It has to be audited, right? The whole governance part, whole risk part, and the compliance part are being managed, monitored, developed, automated via a tool called SAP GRC. It is one of the module of SAP. There are several modules of SAP. If you are implementing for your HR activities, there are HR modules. Similarly, for if you have plant maintenance activities, things, so there are PM modules. Your customer relationship management is being done by SAP CRM. So for all SAP modules, SAP GRC is one module which protects, governs, and monitors the compliance level of all modules. Okay, so we will see going forward how SAP GRC is being used, which all are the components used, which all are the practices used. We will see in the coming discussion.
Okay. So could you tell us about GRC, AC, PC, and RM?
Okay. So like I said, you see, GRC is being used to for all the governance activities for SAP. So in GRC suite, there are three suites. One is called access control, process control, risk management. There are other two suites also there, but as a broad, people use access control, process control, and risk management. Okay.
Okay.
Now, access control is one suite where four components are there. One is called access risk analysis. Another is called access risk management. Third is business role management. Fourth is emergency access management. Now I will explain you what each component does and how it is fit in access control.
Okay.
And so do the other modules via GPR. You see, access risk analysis, it's a component where all of your risk, the risk engine, the upgradation, downgradation, the audit part it's all automated. Either you have automated way or manual way. But with access risk analysis, you can automate all of the stuff, all of the risk that you have designed via the EAM part or access or BRM part or ARM part. Okay. So
Okay.
let's say in access risk analysis, I designed a risk which is called one person cannot have both creation of purchase orders and approval of purchase orders. So let's say you are entitled and auditors to create the work orders or purchase orders based on the vendor's request. You got 3 purchase orders request from vendor and you are creating all of those 3 purchase orders. So if the case you got the authority as well to approve all those purchase orders, so what is the risk over here? You are the person who is involved to creation of all the purchase orders from XYZ organization, and you yourself is approving all the purchase orders of XYZ organization. What happens as a result? Now you can manipulate the purchase order of X to Z, Z to Y, Y to Z, Y to X, and lot of probability, right? So it is a huge risk. So and it's a high risk basically. So how we can mitigate it, or how we will detect it, or how we will remediate it? So in ARA component, basically we create this scenario as a risk. We say that, okay, if any person got access to creation of purchase order and the approval of purchase order as well, then please highlight that as a risk. So when it goes to the ARM component and it simulates the access that you've been given, so it will highlight that, look, this person Sangeeta got creation of purchase orders and approval of purchase orders as well. So which should be either mitigated or remediated. It will give you the suggestions as well.
Okay.
So this is what the being done in excess risk analysis. So basically it will simulate. Now what is ARM? Now what ARM will do is it will give you the option basically. What are the available options? Whether you want Sangeeta to hold the risk or you want Sangeeta's risk to be remediated, and it should be totally diluted. So based on that, let's say the requirement is it should be diluted, and Sangeeta and another person, let's say Geeta, she will got the approval of purchase order, and Sangeeta got creation of purchase order. So based on the business principles, now the risk is divided, which is now mitigated now. That says there is no risk at all. Okay. So now ARA is done, ARM is done. Now what does BRM and EAM do? You see, in an organization, when you enter to the organization, to the auditors, what have you done first? So you are being onboarded, then your access is being created in the system so that you can do your day-to-day activities, right?
Right.
So BRM will basically do is it will give you the right level of access. All your access related transactions will be monitored and will be automated. Sorry for that. Will be automated, and it will give you the right level of access. Okay. Now in emergency access management tool, what you do is, see, there are two things in an organization happen. One is day-to-day activities, which are non-critical, and another is critical activities. Those are not day-to-day. Maybe it's a month-end or quarter-based activities. Okay.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say you need to release the salaries of employees at the month-end. This is a month-end activity, right? So, for example, you need to release the salaries of employees. So, what you need to do? So, you need to be given an extended access, which is not day to day, but rather it's a very critical and some only rarely used or occasionally used. Extended access on the month end that you please release salaries to this for 400 people. Now, EAM, based on the EAM component, you will get access over the month end, and you will be able to execute the salaries to 400 people. However, since it is very critical and very rare, not frequently used, though whatever you do, each and everything in the system has to be monitored, has to be approved. The logs need to go for review, and based on the review, you are the explanatory point that whether you have done your activities as per the right and they should be approved or not. So EAM, basically emergency access management, which automated all the emergency related activities for the weekend, for the critical point of time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is what as a broad access control is. Okay. Now coming to the process control part. See, for the process control, you need to understand is that in an organization, let's say take an example of auditors itself. So what kind of risks are involved? Basically, there are two kinds of risks that involved in an organization. One is that IT risk, one is that business risk. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So IT risk is like, same example, let's say purchase order. So you need to create a workflow saying that, when Sangeeta created 3 purchase orders of XYZ organization, it will go to it will go to Suvendu for the approval of XYZ organization. If Sangeeta creates Z alpha beta organization, it will go to another person for approval. So the workflow basically is being designed by IT people, right? But for the day-to-day activities, those workflow will be conducted by any operation people. They will not design, basically they will process the data. So those will be conducted by operations people. So the risk here is, one is IT people, they should segregate it well so that if it is X, Y, Z, it should go to only Suvendu, or if it is alpha, beta, gamma, it should go to only Geetam. Okay. If both of these workflows, Suvendu or Geetam, is merged, then it's a risk. Your workflow should segregate both. Your workflow should not merge both. So that is called IT risk. Similarly, if it is a business, if it is being managed by operations people, then the purchase order went to Suvendu or Sangeeta, and both, and that is in live system. That is in live system. If that got intercalated as well, and one person got from the operations, so that is called operational risk. So to mitigate both IT risk and operations risk, process control is being used. I will not take much time explaining risk management. So basically all the risk that we create manually or upgrade or downgrade for an organization, those can be automated by risk management component. Okay, I think that got a bit more long. That went a bit long, but yeah, overall it is that.
Okay, sir. So one last thing, I want to know that what is the future of cybersecurity?
Okay, so you see, the future, to understand future of cybersecurity, it needs a bit long time. So future of cybersecurity is, let's intercorrelate the examples being given to earlier questions. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if same example that I gave, that if the Auritus as an organization hasn't implemented SAP, okay, and only one person, Geeta, is doing all the activities, creating purchase orders, approving purchase orders. So it is a risk. It is not SOX compliant. So and in Indian org standard is NFRA standard, and it is not NFRA compliant. If you yourself is creating the work orders and approving, so it's a big risk. You can violate the whole system's transactional data. You can violate the share market principles as well. You can exchange. You can have your own shares within your account without knowledge of the person. Right. Similarly, in Europe, that is another standard is being used that is called GDPR, and that is being used in Europe. Another standard in US that is being used is called SOX. So to make the organizational system to both SOX, GDPR, and like NFRA, to meet all these standards, you need to have applied to the cybersecurity principles. If you don't meet those standards, basically you are downgrading your organization rating. You are downgrading the trustworthiness of the organization, and so do the organizational or organization data or organization is being exposed to the outside world. We give you a simple example, like the internet penetration is in Gartner report that by 2020 end, the 6 billion people will be having internet penetration. By 2030, it will reach to 7.5 billion. Right? That means trillions of mobile devices are coming to the internet. and everything is interconnected. Everything is it's open architecture. Anyone can get in, get out, and more or less all the organizations are moving their data to the cloud now. That means again it is going to be exposed to the outside world. How you are going to make that the data which is in cloud, they are GDPR compliant, they are SOX compliant, they are NFRA compliant. So all that means that more and more requirements are coming to implement SAP GRC or maybe some other tools like Oracle GRC or maybe RSA, Archer RSA, or maybe some other cybersecurity tool to protect all the data, to protect all these interconnected devices that is coming over to internet, to protect, I mean, basically everything. The cybersecurity is required. So it is being predicted that 3.5 million unfulfilled jobs will be in cybersecurity market by 21-22, and then it means that cybersecurity is going to be top 10 on skill set in the coming 5 years. So you can see the enormous amount of opportunities and amount of jobs and in this area, and it's going to be great. People should hunt for it.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Khagendra, for taking some time for us and tell us about this great thing.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Thanks for having me in the platform, and thanks for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Stay tuned for further more episodes. We will come back again with more such personalities and share their knowledge and experiences. For our episodes, you can subscribe us in Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor.